Welcome our SVM students. Today we are going to see about equilibrium of rigid bodies. Okay, that topic is in our fifth lesson, motion of the system of particle and rigid bodies. In lesson we have a equilibrium of rigid bodies. For that we are going to see about both translation motion as well as the rotational motion related equilibriums. So for that we are going to tackle a certain object. Suppose my taken object is in a rectangular shape which has certain mass, m mass. This mass is going to place on that one of our table. On that table, we are placing our object which has the m mass. Now the object is at rest. This object is m mass object is at rest. As usual, what we are saying means any object is at rest, there is no force act on that object. That's why it is at rest. But actually, our object is in our earth gravitational field. Any object exists in our earth gravitational field. That object experienced a gravitational force towards the center of that earth. So that's why definitely each and every object exists in our earth gravitational field that are experience the gravitational force which is act towards the center of that earth. That gravitational force is act in downward direction. But even though the gravitational force act on that object, the object is at rest. There we have another force. What force act that another force means? Normal force. This normal force act to that opposite direction of that gravitational force. We are taken the direction of that gravitational force is downward direction. Then from that table surface to that bottom of our mass object, another force is acting that can be reversed in this direction. So normal force is acting upward direction. Gravitational force is in a downward direction. Here Fn is equal to Fg. Normal force act on that object from the table surface in upward direction, but gravitational force is act in downward direction. Magnitude wise, these forces, two forces are equal, but these two are vector quantities. If you related these two in vector form means Fn vector, normal force is minus Fg vector. That is, in which direction the normal force is acting, to that opposite direction the gravitational force is acted. But this object is at rest means, then we can say net force is zero. Net force is a 0. That is taken vector sum of these two forces. That is F1 vector plus Fg vector. What purpose we are mentioning the sign means the two are acting opposite direction. So if we consider the object is at rest on that table, net force is 0. Don't say no force is acting. But in our as usual daily life, if any object is like that, no force is acting. That is a meaningless. You cannot say practically no force is acting because any object exists that is in our gravitational field. Definitely gravitational force it can experience. So if it want to rest means another one of the force is acting. That is a normal force. So anyhow for rest condition is net force is a 0. That is Fn vector plus Fg vector equal to 0. Net force 0 means these two forces total value becomes a 0 for that rest object. As like that object makes rotational motion, which quantity, physical quantity makes a rotational motion of our rigid object means torque act on that objects. Torque act on that object to make a rotational effect of our rigid objects. So there also, if any object is in a rotational equilibrium, there we are saying net torque is 0. Any shape of that object we can take for that. Uniform shape or non-uniform shape based on that one point in our object or based on one axis of that rotation through the object or outside the object may makes a rotation. If it is in a rotational motion, there the torque is existing. If it is a rotational equilibrium means net torque on the object is 0. Net torque on that object is 0. So in general, any object may makes a translation motion as well as the rotational motion. There we have equilibrium state means we have two physical quantities, that is linear momentum this can be represented as a small p, angular momentum. Angular momentum is represented in capital L. This linear momentum physical quantity related to our linear motion we can say, otherwise translation motion related physical quantity. Next one is the angular momentum. That angular momentum related to that rotational motion. Relation to the rotational motion, we have the symbol for linear momentum, small p we are taken. Angular momentum, capital L. Then we are going to take a rigid object. We are saying that rigid object is a mechanical equilibrium. When we can say a rigid object is mechanical equilibrium means this linear momentum as well as the angular momentum remains constant. Whatever may be the value exists for linear momentum as well as the angular momentum, that value remains constant. So that's why we have a statement for mechanical equilibrium. Any rigid object, if it is a mechanical equilibrium, both linear momentum and angular momentum remains constant. Okay, we will say that a rigid body said to be a mechanical equilibrium. rigid body is said to be mechanical equilibrium when both linear momentum and angular momentum remains constant. If these two factors are remains constant, we say that rigid body is a mechanical equilibrium. Mechanical equilibrium. Already we know that the linear momentum related to the translation motion, angular momentum related to the rotational motion, angular momentum related to the rotational motion. Now we are going to see the linear momentum constant factor. If linear momentum is constant, net force on that object is 0. From that Newton's second law we can see. We know that Newton's second law formula, that is F vector is equal to dp vector divided by dt. What is that? The rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to that applied unbalanced force. If one particle is moving, no external force is acting, the dp value is equal to 0. That is, change in momentum value is 0. That means momentum remains constant. Linear momentum remains constant. So what about that force? If dp value is 0, dp vector divided by dt also 0, then we are saying applied unbalanced also 0. Applied unbalanced also 0. So that's why we are saying the condition for translation motion, condition for translation motion is linear momentum remains constant. Linear momentum remains constant. No change in linear momentum. Then if there is no change in linear momentum, net force is 0. Then these two are vector quantities. That is p vector, linear momentum vector quantity, as well as the force also vector quantity. If linear momentum remains constant, net force on that body is 0. We cannot say no force is acting. If net force is 0 means we may give many number of force act on that object. That can be represented as F1 vector, F2 vector, F3 vector, F4 vector, like that, up to that n number of forces may be acted on a object. But that object expressed linear momentum remains constant means net force on that system becomes, that is object becomes 0. So how we can take on, according to our equation, you can say F1 vector plus F2 vector plus F3 vector goes on up to that any number of forces, that value may become say 0. That forces don't want to act in a same direction or in opposite direction. These n number of forces may be acted in a different directions on a object. On a object, these forces can be act in maybe in a different directions. Like that, the forces are acting on a object means that all forces are resolved into two components, x component and y component. The net x component value as well as the y component value becomes a 0. then only our object's linear momentum remains constant. Object's linear momentum remains constant. For that, this is a translation motion condition. As like that, rotational motion condition also. There we have a rotational equilibrium. In that translation motion, if these conditions exist, translation motion is translation equilibrium we can say. So these are the conditions for equilibrium. Condition for equilibrium in a translation motion. Okay, next we are going to see that rotational motion as well as what condition we required for rotational equilibrium. Which factor makes the rotational effect on the object means torque makes the rotational effect. Torque makes a rotational effect. If net torque on that system is 0, we can say angular momentum, change in angular momentum is 0. That is, angular momentum remains constant. Already we take that F vector is equal to dp vector divided by dt. As like that, in rotational motion, we are changing this linear momentum into angular momentum, and that force can be taken as a torque. Tau vector is equal to dl vector divided by dt. Tau vector is equal to dl vector divided by dt. That is, dl vector is nothing but change in angular momentum. If the change in angular momentum is 0, what we can say means L remains constant. Angular momentum remains constant. If angular momentum remains constant, tau net equal to 0. Because for any system in a rotational motion, angular momentum remains constant means change in angular momentum value is 0. Change in angular momentum value when 0 means net torque, if net torque on that object is 0. These two are the condition for rotational equilibrium. Condition for rotational equilibrium. So, what is the condition for translation equilibrium means linear momentum P vector remains constant and net force is 0. Net force is 0. As like that, for a rotational equilibrium, angular momentum remains constant, net torque also 0. Net torque also 0. So these two conditions on which object that exists, then we are saying the object experienced a mechanical equilibrium. Mechanical equilibrium. Condition for mechanical equilibrium L and P constant, linear momentum and angular momentum remains constant, net force equal to 0 and net torque also equal to 0. This is the condition for that is condition for mechanical equilibrium. Condition for a mechanical equilibrium is angular momentum and linear momentum remains constant, net force and net torque is zero. There we have some classification of that equilibriums, that is types of equilibriums and their conditions we can list out. What are that means? Types of equilibrium and condition for each equilibrium we are going to see. Based on our explanation, we have studied that translational equilibrium and rotational equilibrium. If any object is in a translational equilibrium means linear momentum remains constant, net force is zero. Another one is rotational equilibrium. If angular momentum remains constant and net torque is zero, that particle or body obtain a rotational equilibrium. Apart from that, we have some types of equilibriums that we are going to see. Okay. Next, we will see that types of equilibrium and their conditions. There are types of equilibriums and the conditions we are going to test. First one is, already we saw that translational equilibrium and rotational equilibrium. First we will take on that translational equilibrium. So for that we have a conditions. Here linear momentum constant, net force is zero. What is the condition for translation motion means linear momentum remains constant and net force is zero. Next type is rotational motion, rotational equilibrium. What is the condition for obtaining a rotational equilibrium means angular momentum remains constant. Angular momentum remains constant and net torque is zero. What is the two conditions for rotational equilibrium means angular momentum remains constant and net torque is zero. Next, third one, that is static equilibrium. Object is at rest. Object is at rest means no movement, no velocity. If velocity is zero, linear momentum is zero. If it is not moving, angular velocity also zero. If angular velocity is zero, then torque also zero. That is in a rest itself. So that's why angular momentum zero. We have the formulas that we can listen. That listen, we know that P is equal to mv, L is equal to mvr. Otherwise, instead of v, we can substitute r omega. L is equal to, instead of v, we substitute r omega, then m into r omega into r, then we'll get that is m r square omega. Anyhow, we know that in our linear momentum, P depends velocity as well as the mass. L depends not only the mass, radius and angular velocity. If object is rest v is equal to 0, omega is equal to 0. So we know that L is equal to mvr. Instead of v, we can substitute r omega. If we substitute r omega, we will get that L is equal to m r squared omega. If object is at rest, linear velocity and angular velocity both are 0. If these two factors are 0, if v is 0, linear momentum is 0. Omega is 0, angular momentum is 0. That we consider continuously that P value is 0, omega value, that is L value is 0. No change in that value. That's why net force equal to 0 for related to that linear momentum. Then angular momentum is 0 means definitely net torque also 0. So these four conditions are exist for that static equilibrium. Static equilibrium. That's why you listen for static equilibrium. Static equilibrium means what are the factors? P is nothing but linear momentum, that is equal to 0. Next, L, angular momentum 0. Then if P 0, definitely F net 0. Then L 0, angular momentum 0, net torque that also 0. For a static equilibrium, all the four factors becomes a 0. What are the factors? Linear momentum, angular momentum, net force, net torque 0. Next we have that fourth one, dynamic equilibrium. Dynamic means in motion, but the velocity remains constant. Angular velocity also remains a constant. Okay, that's why if velocity remains constant, linear momentum remains constant. Okay, next we are going to see that dynamic equilibrium. The object is in motion in a uniform velocity as well as both velocities, linear velocity and angular velocity. That's why if V remains constant, P remains constant. P means which one? Linear momentum remains constant. Omega remains constant means angular momentum remains constant. That is P and L. What is P? Linear momentum. That L, angular momentum, is equal to constant. Next two factors. If V constant, external force is 0. That's why F net vector is equal to 0. If L remains constant, it means the net torque also equal to 0. So this is the conditions for dynamic equilibrium. P and L constant, net force and net torque is equal to 0. Next we have stable equilibrium, unstable equilibrium and neutral equilibrium. So for that Fifth one is stable equilibrium. For that we can take a very small diagram. Cone is rest on its base. Cone is rest on its base on the diagram. Where the center of mass for that cone means in a lower region. If you slightly disturb this, the cone can be little bit tilted and comes to its original position. At the time of slightly disturbing, that center of mass may be move somewhat upward, even though that bring back to its original position. That is, stability is happened finally. So based on that stable equilibrium, what we can say means object is in a stable, and in our object very lower point from the middle to lower we have the center of mass. Then we have a minimum potential energy because that object is more stable. What are the conditions we have means there P is equal to 0, that is linear momentum 0, rest, and angular momentum 0. Then if you slightly disturb, the object bring back its own equilibrium. It may be slightly disturbed, bring back its own equilibrium. It is stable object bring back to its equilibrium. Then we have that center of mass. At the time of slightly disturbed, center of mass is slightly higher and once again bring back to that original position. At the slightly disturbed center of mass goes higher level we can say, but once again bring back its original position. Next point is a one. Second point is this that is in a stable. What about that center of mass that bring back its original position? Then that is a fourth point is potential energy is a minimum. Where we have a potential energy is minimum, at this stage object is more stable. Then we have sixth one, unstable. Equilibrium. First condition is suitable for this. What is the first condition? Linear momentum is 0 and angular momentum also 0. Then we can say it will not bring back its original position because the cone is rest on its apex. If a cone is rest on its apex, slightly disturbed, what may happen? Cone will not bring back its initial position state. And at this unstable equilibrium, at the time of the cone placed in its apex, center of mass is higher level. That's why potential energy is not minimum, somewhat higher. Due to that, if you disturb, it goes down, that is the center of mass goes down and it will not recover. That is that unstable equilibrium. Potential energy is not minimum, that is decreases means, that is slightly disturbed means is lowering. Then center of mass lowering means potential energy is decreases. Potential energy is decreases. That is that unstable condition. Then seventh one is neutral equilibrium. If the cone is rest sideways, their center of mass we have, whatever may be that, apply the force. There, that rest in that same initial position itself. That's why condition is linear momentum 0, angular momentum 0, potential energy is remains constant. And what disturbance if you apply, slightly disturbed or greater force applied, center of mass will not move higher or lower in its same level itself. That is the condition for neutral equilibrium. We have 7 types of nuclear equilibriums. One is the translation equilibrium, rotational equilibrium, static equilibrium, dynamic equilibrium, stable equilibrium, unstable equilibrium, and neutral equilibrium. Their conditions are given. Okay, thank you, Parag.